This is the Sports Stop with your hosts, James, Atticus, and Evan. Only on WSJU Radio.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University. I'm WSJU's own James Mitchell. Alongside me are my partners, Evan McGuire and Andrew Calvano. Unfortunately, Atticus George, who is usually a staple here on the Sports Stop, is ill today, so he could not make it today. But luckily, we have the new Perspective member who sits in every week, filling in as the, full-time member with Andrew. So, guys, it's cold this morning. Not liking it.
It's a bit windy out there, yeah.
Very, very, very windy.
And then I got to the top of right next to Sullivan, and yeah, I realized it was extremely windy. I almost got blown over, it seemed like.
Yeah, definitely. I walked out of Henley, and they have this nice backcourt. Not backcourt as in basketball, but like a courtyard. That's what I'm looking. That's the word I'm looking for. They have that nice area. It's kind of closed in. It's fenced in. Then you walk out through the little alley to get outside, and then once you walk out of that alley, you get hit. You're like a kite going to blow away. It's ridiculous, but it's springtime.
Supposedly.
We had a chance of snow today. I don't see any on the ground.
It was flurrying last night.
I think it was flurrying, yeah, but I thought that the snow was done. In fact, I had my mother, who was down here this past weekend, take home my winter jacket and my peacoat and all the other warm stuff. Well, not all of it. As you can see, I'm wearing my fuzzy sweatshirt, and underneath I have my fuzzy pajama pants on under my jeans.
No surprise.
And and so I had her take home some winter jackets and things like that. And now I'm kind of regretting that, but it's all right. It happens.
Hopefully we get into that 60-degree weather by the end of the week. That would be very nice.
Especially since the MLB season, of course, that's my official start of spring, coming next Monday here in New York. Citi Field's going to be open, and I'm going to be attending. I got tickets to the opening day. I know the Yankees' opening day is April 1st. But we'll get more into baseball later. We got a show full of baseball. It's our last show before the season starts here in the States. But let's start with the big news coming out of St. John's that came out 2 days ago. Jakar Sampson, of course, here we said in the news, he's a sophomore currently, and he was 2012-2013 Big East Rookie of the Year. He's going to the draft. So that's one player we won't have back next season.
And that took me by surprise. I thought for sure that he would be back, but I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I mean, with the draft class this year, I thought it was it's a really good draft class. So at the same, I thought for sure he would come back and polish up his game a little bit more, maybe, and then go into the draft after his junior year. That seemed to be what I was thinking, but I mean, good for Jakar. Hopefully he gets in the draft and goes to a good team.
Yeah, hopefully. Currently on ESPN, he's ranked 133 in their Draft Express board, and usually it's the top 100 that gets drafted. So he's not projected to go in the draft. But I mean, maybe if he impresses scouts or anything like that during the offseason, the time before the draft, maybe because he's got a lot of raw potential. And he got a lot of raw talent.
There's
so
a lot of upside with Jakar.
Definitely.
I mean, it's insane about his upside. I mean, he's almost automatic from 15 feet out, and I mean, his jump shot is good. I mean, he has to improve his range a little bit more with consistency, and just little parts of his game just need to be fine tuned, which is why I thought he would stay for one more year and do that, and then it would work out for him. But I mean, he's going to the draft. So
now, do you think he's the one out of a few declaring for the draft out of the St. John's team?
I think the only other one would in general or this year.
No, this year.
This year,
just this year, yeah.
I think the only other one would be Orlando.
Okay.
Orlando Sanchez.
I don't know where he's ranked. I didn't look that up. I mean, D'Angelo Harrison, he's a junior. He's going to be coming. He can come back next year, unless
he is. He'll come back.
All right, I hope so.
I don't think anyone else is going to leave. I think The only other one.
I mean, Primo's a senior, so
Yeah, exactly why I said that. He might go.
He can go anywhere, but he just can't stay here. Is the thing. Yeah.
I think my fingers are crossed. Rashid stays. He's such an important part. If
he stays, he's gonna be the guy next year.
Oh, he's absolutely
definitely.
He was the guy this year.
He was the guy towards the end of the year for the St. John's team. But if he's back for a full year as a starter, because he was on the bench for a good portion of the time. He got rookie time. He got rookie time.
He got a lot of rookie time. I was impressed by him.
Yeah, and I think Steve Lavin and the rest of the St. John's coaching staff was as well. So yeah, Sampson's going to the draft. Good luck in the pros, Jakar. We'll miss you. It's a deep draft though, so
it's really deep.
So hopefully he gets drafted. Of course, the NBA has a lot of different opportunities with the developmental league and
the D League, and just going to Europe in general to start your career out. That's an option too.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing against it either. It's just
I think at the same time, like, the Big East wasn't what it was.
Right.
So it's not as strong, but you still get some good development.
Definitely, especially with NBA coaching. Like, if he does go to the D League, I think that'd be great. I mean, it's called the developmental league for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jakar in a couple of years is going to be he'll be in the NBA, and I think he won't make a big difference, but he'll make a difference to a team.
I mean, we'll see. I don't think he hired an agent yet, so he can come back to St. John's anytime he wants. Honestly, I think he needs a couple more years here to mature at St. John's. I'm not really a firm believer in guys leaving early, unless you're a superstar like that.
Right.
And no offense to Sampson, but he's not a countrywide superstar yet. So I think he needs a couple more years to develop here at St. John's. And I mean, would you rather be some guy who does not get drafted, or wait 2 years to develop your skills, get drafted in the first round? So, we'll see what he does. Best of luck to him either way, whatever his decision is.
And of course, the other side of the spectrum is, if you stay in college the next year, this happens in the NFL a lot. What if you get hurt? What if you do something bad to your knee or something like that? And I mean, not that his draft stock is very high right now, but I mean, that could get higher as opposed to if he gets hurt, it'll definitely plummet. So I mean, there's always pros and cons to each decision, especially if when talking about a draft in the NBA or the NFL. So yeah, there's Sampson news. Then we also have the NCAA tournament, which is in the Sweet 16. And guys, we had our brackets last week. You can also find that on the YouTube if you search for our channel, the SportsStop WSJU channel. I guess you type in. Now I figured out this because if you are a loyal listener and you enjoy going on YouTube to find our shows, you'll see that I cut it up in 15-minute intervals. I don't like doing that, but I was told when I set up the account that you have to do 15-minute intervals. Well, one of our segments went longer than 15 minutes. It was like 17 minutes. And that was the segment that we shared our NCAA champion. So I couldn't cut any of it. And so I was like, you know what? What are they going to do? So...
And they did nothing.
Actually, they did something.
You had to check off a few things.
I had to check off a few things. I had to authorize it. So, but it's up, that 17-minute clip, and I was like, okay, maybe I can move it to a 30-minute segments, or maybe even just go for the long haul with 2 hours. So I'll probably experiment with that this weekend. With this show, of course, it's being recorded, so you can catch that on our YouTube channel. But last week we did our brackets. I know I have quite a bit of red on mine. I had Kansas going to the Final Four.
I had Kansas in the Elite Eight, so
all right,
I mean, it's not horrible.
No, it's not. I had Duke in the Elite Eight. I think. I don't have my bracket with me.
Where did I have Duke? Where's Duke?
Yeah, where'd you put number 3 Duke? Of course, they lost to.
I think Sweet 16. That is.
Elite Eight. See, there you go.
Yeah, I had Duke losing to Tennessee, so I didn't have many points there. So I did have Tennessee going to the Sweet 16, so I did get those points. But I only lost at 1 point on Duke losing, beating Mercer.
Gotcha. Did we all have Connecticut beating Wichita State?
Kentucky.
Kentucky beating Wichita State? I had Kentucky too. All right. So there you go. I have no idea what Atticus had.
That was a great game.
That was a pretty good game. Did you see that dunk that who was it? He was on Wichita State. Clearly? What's his name?
Early.
I think it's Early, right?
Early on there.
Yeah.
I didn't see the dunk though.
It was probably the best dunk I saw in this tournament so far.
That's very impressive because dunks don't impress you that much.
I know, but I mean, when you're 6'10" and the rim is 8 foot, you could just stand there with your hand up in the air and get it in. But this was an impressive dunk. I really liked watching this one. I even looked up the highlight later. That's how you know I liked it. So we each have Wichita State losing to Kentucky. That was a nice interstate battle. Interstate battle.
Yeah.
Oh no, Kansas.
Maybe.
Wichita's in Kansas, right?
I have zero idea. Actually.
I'm gonna have to say Wichita's in Kansas.
Yeah, I think Wichita's in Kansas. Because former Met great Mike Pelfrey went there. In fact, they had a prank with the Twins manager Ron Gardenhire. He called in Pelfrey and he said that the team was on the phone, and really it was other pitchers like Glenn Perkins from the Twins, and he had Pelfrey try and pep talk him, and he's like, "Oh my God, is that all you got? Really?" It was funny. If you want to look that up, you can.
All the Big East teams, Villanova and Creighton, are now out of the tournament.
This is the first time since 1992 that there's no Big East team in the Sweet 16.
Really?
That's crazy.
That's a nice nugget.
The old Big East is still in it. They still got
UConn in there.
I guess that's the statistic with by official Big East teams.
I mean, you got UConn and Louisville.
Yep.
That are still in it. I mean, old Big East right there. Key cogs to the old Big East.
I mean, Syracuse moved on. They lost though against Dayton, which was a really good game.
Yeah, that was something else.
That was very fun.
It's what is it? Dayton against Stanford in the Sweet 16 round.
Stanford to win.
I want Dayton to win that one. Small Ohio, I like that.
I think Stanford has the best shot against Florida.
That's true.
That's why I'm going for Stanford.
Either way, I know I didn't have that in the Sweet 16 matchup. Definitely not.
If you had that, I give you all the credit in the world.
I think I had Ohio State and
I had Syracuse and
who did Stanford beat?
Stanford beat
New Mexico.
New Mexico. I think I had.
I had New Mexico.
Yeah,
first of all.
I had Stanford there. Just a tough game there. You know, I'm a firm believer that the freshmen cannot pull it off come tournament time. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins is a great player, and Embiid is that his name? The center.
If he played, he didn't play.
Yeah,
I mean that was what I was banking on. I was banking on them getting riding Wiggins for 2 games, and then Embiid comes back and he's just going to dominate everybody. That's what I was.
What was his injury again?
Fractured
back. Yeah, it was a back.
Stress fracture in his back.
Stress fracture in his back.
Not a fractured back.
And I think if Embiid was back for that game, I'm sure it would make a difference. I think Kansas got killed on the boards anyway. But, I mean, you really just can't ride these freshman guys. Just look at Jabari Parker and Duke. Freshmen can't do it in the tournament. It's all about experience coming around that time. So,
yeah, definitely.
I think Michigan State to win.
Yeah, there you go. Now Michigan State's going up against Virginia. So that's a 4-1.
This is probably the most interesting matchup to me.
It's a very interesting matchup. I think many people have Virginia losing this game.
Yeah, I think so too. But they're really coming to play here at the tournament.
I mean, they're coming to play, you know, and look at the backtrack. They had a great ACC season. And they were ACC champions.
At the same time, though, like it seems like in the game against Coastal Carolina and against Memphis, they started out way too slow. Like going into halftime, it was a pretty close game, and then they started to pull away at the end of the game, I think. And I don't think you can do that against Michigan State.
I don't think you do that either, but I think each team that's in the Sweet 16 so far has shown weaknesses in their prior 2 games. Honestly, I think this is the big test game for Michigan State. I have them going all the way, so.
Yeah.
Of course, if Michigan State does go all the way, they'll have to beat my Iowa State, who's going up against UConn this round.
Who lost their big guy.
They did lose their big guy. What's his name?
Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name.
Anybody know his name?
George something. George Niang.
Yeah, it's something weird.
Something like that.
He has a fractured foot.
Yeah.
So he's going to be out for the rest of the tournament. That's a big blow on my title hopes.
And you see him on the sidelines trying to stand up and cheer on his team, and he's struggling to stand up.
Yeah. So, but they played a very exciting game against UNC. I believe it was a game-winning layup with 1.6 seconds left.
Yeah, and then UNC decides to inbound it, try and dribble down the court, and call a timeout with 0.2 of a second left, if that. And then they went to the replay.
They went to the replay to see if they got the timeout in time because the clock hit 0.
And technically, they got it in time.
But the clock didn't start.
Never started.
Yeah, the clock didn't start in time. So
I know a lot of UNC fans are really salty about that, but
I mean
that's the point of a replay.
Yeah, there's video evidence. It's slow motion. It's all calculated now.
That's the idea of the replay, to make sure that they got everything right. So I mean,
and I think they did. I have no problem with that. Iowa State's still in it. I had them beating UConn. I think I'm doing A-okay in that small section of that bracket.
Well, if you have Iowa State going all the way, that's something big. Because a lot of people have Michigan State out of that bracket. So if Iowa State can sneak out of there, especially with the absence of Villanova, who I didn't think was that strong going into the tournament, I mean, you can get some major points there with Iowa State if you still have them going all the way. So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I have Louisville's been making me nervous. This whole
Louisville
tournament
has been making me nervous.
Yeah.
I agree. Because
I have them going to the championship.
That's where I have them.
Yeah.
Let's go Kentucky. I didn't pick Kentucky, but I would not mind seeing that.
My father said, and I really have to agree with him here, he said, whoever comes out of this game, Kentucky-Louisville, goes to the national championship. And looking at it right now, I can firmly agree on that.
Now, Kentucky won 2 years ago. Louisville won last year. So that's a nice little tidbit here in the Sweet 16.
And don't forget that Kentucky was the preseason overall #1 seed.
It's true.
But at the same time, like you said, it's all about experience.
It is, yep.
I mean, if they do move on against a Louisville team that is struggling right now, I mean, do they have the experience?
Well, it was.
You have John Calipari, so that's your experience.
Okay, what was that? Evan and I, we were watching a game. I think it was Louisville. Who'd they play? It was so bad.
Manhattan?
That was
the Manhattan game?
No, that was exciting.
It was like a 25-18 at halftime.
Who they played next round?
I think it was
St.
Louisville.
Louis.
Yes, it was.
St. Louis. That was
St. Louis and Louisville.
Yeah.
We turned it off.
Oh my God, that was kind of hard to watch.
Oh yeah, very low scoring game in the first half. Yep.
It was like 25-18 in the first half.
Did they even get
That's
25?
Ridiculous. I don't even know.
I don't think they even
Wasn't the Kansas Stanford game low at halftime?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, there's. I wouldn't.
But when
say
you pick
good
Louisville,
defense.
to go to your championship round, that's making you nervous.
It is.
Once you start facing the big teams, is that going to be their downfall?
I have no idea. You call in with your thoughts at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. Right now we're talking about the top stories of the day, including a little bit of a recap of the NCAA tournament. So if you have a champion that's out and you just want to vent about it, be my guest. Call in. Or you can tweet at us at SportsStop WSJU. Of course. We have Evan over here on the Twitter, tweeting about. So, yeah, are we done with this tournament talk? Unless somebody calls in, of course. I mean, any other big I know they're all big games. It's March Madness, but like notable. I just love that Dayton Stanford. I really want to watch that. A 10 and 11 seed.
Honestly, I see Dayton rolling. I think they win this game.
I like that. I want to see Dayton win too.
I mean, I wouldn't mind either way, but I think Stanford has the better shot to beat Florida.
So that's who you want.
I want that because I know a lot of people have Florida winning it all.
Atticus is included in that.
Yes.
We just want to stick it to him.
I mean, wait, just saying, since Atticus isn't here, that Gonzaga over Arizona pick?
Nope,
that didn't happen.
He got me, did he get all of us? Because I chose OK State.
I think you went Arizona, right, Andrew?
No, I'm talking about
Arizona over Gonzaga?
No, I'm talking about the first game.
Oklahoma State, Gonzaga?
State, Gonzaga. I had OK State.
Yeah. I had Who'd I have? I had Gonzaga.
You did? Okay.
Well, I had Oklahoma State in this one. But I remember mentioning on the show, in our show's bracket, how I didn't like Marcus Smart, and I was taking Gonzaga all the way, and then for some reason I put in Oklahoma State.
Gotcha. Very nice. So, yeah, he got the last laugh on that one, but we got it. We got it with the Arizona pick. We got him back. There's, what was that game? Oregon against Wisconsin.
That's a scary. I think that's a scary.
I have Wisconsin in a couple Final Fours and a couple of my brackets.
Yeah, I do. I have them in.
I mean, Wisconsin beat Oregon this past weekend.
Yeah, I mean that was, and they were down by double digits at one point, and they showed the fight to come all the way back and win. I mean, keep in mind Oregon doesn't play defense, but they're one of the highest scoring teams in the nation, and Wisconsin stepped up their defense and really shut them down. So, I mean, I was impressed by that. But, I mean, I had them going up against Creighton in this round coming up. And I had Wisconsin moving on. Going against Baylor, I think that adds a little bit tougher matchup. And it's kind of concerning because I have them in my Final Four.
Wisconsin, you mean?
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Yeah. What I say on last week's show, that Oregon BYU would go to 100 points?
Yes, you did. Or, yeah.
Almost.
I mean,
what was
Oregon
87.
87, yeah, that's pretty close. That's about as close as you can get in college basketball. Without going to OT.
Especially in a tournament game
yeah.
where everyone should step up defensively.
Yeah. No overtime, just regular.
Yeah, just regulation.
Regulation. All right. Other news, of course, baseball's coming back. Of my official start of spring again. We're going to have our picks coming up later the day. We're going to have our AL East preview and then our picks for who's going to win the MVP, Cy Young Award, Rookie of the Year, World Series prediction. So that'll come at...
Very exciting.
That is very exciting. I think that's going to come at like 12 o'clock. So at the noon hour, you can listen to baseball talk while you're eating lunch. But other news, I saw today Jared Allen...
Yeah, went
5-time Pro Bowler, goes from the Vikings to the Bears.
He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to stop Green Bay.
Doesn't want to stop tackling Aaron Rodgers, I'll tell you that much.
He enjoys doing that.
And he's good at it, too. Of course, the Packers did get Julius Peppers. All those good defensive ends, I should say, that are free agents or were cut by the NFC North, they're just staying in the division. It's like they want to, love the rivalry, or they want to
get run over by Peterson. Either or.
Yeah, one of those two. So he signed a 5-year deal. Michael Vick, of course, all the Jet fans are excited about. Well, maybe not all of them. I saw a petition that on Jets.com that a few fans signed that they didn't want Vick. I mean, mainly due to the dogfighting scandal that happened years ago.
All right, get over it. I'm sorry, but that's in the past. You have to get over it at some point.
I think the Jets just love being at the front page of the news.
They really do.
And I think this was a publicity stunt.
Just like Tebow.
Of course.
At the same time, you have Geno Smith and you have Mike Vick. They're identical quarterbacks, and Geno can learn from Vick. I mean, Vick's not horrible.
No, Vick isn't horrible. I don't know. Of course, it's way too early to announce a starter, I'm sure. But I think Vick is the favorite. He's got to be. And, of course, Vick replaced Mark Sanchez, former Jet great, the Sanchez, if you will. Rumors are that he's going to be signed by Evan's Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, Evan hates USC.
I despise USC. Now I have to.
So now they have Barkley and Sanchez.
And now I have to listen to all these Deshaun Jackson rumors, and it's killing me.
The Jets are in on those too.
Jets want Deshaun Jackson. It's going to happen.
Jets need Deshaun Jackson.
Jets should give us a first-round pick for Deshaun Jackson just because I want them to be idiotic about it. Just so they can be in the headlines still.
I mean, they could.
First-round pick. Come on, Jets.
I mean, usually the Jets make a stupid first-round pick anyway. So I mean, might as well just throw it away. All right. So there's our top stories. Call in next segment after our commercial break at 718-9903-SJU. We'll be back at 11:30 reading the news. Then we're going to be talking about the NHL Of course, we had to skip that last week because of the NCAA tourney talk. Now, playoff season is coming up fast. There's about 10 games left, so you don't want to miss our analysis here on the SportsStop on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop.
Yes, we are back in town. It's the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio. It's 11:32. Very good first segment we just had, talking about the NCAA tournament. And, of course, Shakar Sampson moving on to the next chapter of his career as he declared for the draft. But now let's go into the NHL. Guys, a lot's been going on in the NHL recently. There's not that many games left. Playoff seeds are being clinched, and teams are being eliminated from contention, like the Buffalo Sabres and the Edmonton Oilers. No surprise there, though, guys, right?
No. They're tough seasons all around.
Oh, yeah. Of course, those are the types of teams that try and trade everybody away at the trade deadline. That's pretty much what Buffalo did. They got a lot of picks, so I might be jumping on that bandwagon right now. Before I move on any further, we have Troy coming in. Of course, he's a friend to the show. He just came in after this segment. Now, he could also be a replacement for Atticus. Of course, he's sick today, so you won't be hearing his lovely voice. Troy, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
It's good. Now, Troy, I know you're not really big into hockey, right?
No, not much.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But, I mean, that's what we're going to talk about. So what's the big news of the day, Devils fans? Of course, I mean Evan and Andrew.
10 games left, 5 points out.
That's for the Devils.
That's for the Devils. I mean, the other 4 teams are tied at 80 points.
That's true. It's so close. That's in the Eastern Conference.
You got the Toronto Maple Leafs that are 1-7 in the last 8 games.
Yeah, they're free falling, and I know that those fans. They were so. I was watching the trade deadline coverage, and after the trade deadline came and went, and the Maple Leafs didn't do anything, there was an outpouring of fans saying, "What are we doing?" So I know those fans aren't going to be too happy with them right now, especially not getting a player that could, push them over that. Yeah, the difference maker.
They have Kessel and Van Riemsdyk. I mean, they're two prolific scorers, but at the same time, 2 guys, only depending on 2 guys, it seems like. And
their goalies have been struggling.
Bernier just came back yesterday for the first time, I think.
Since March 13th.
Yeah, since March 13th from injury.
Didn't help him that much. I mean, they lost last night, didn't they?
They kind of were forced to put him back, I think.
Definitely.
Because Reimer has been absolutely struggling.
I mean, at this time of year, history will play that Toronto always seems to drop out of a playoff spot. That's just the way it goes. They lost 6 in a row here. That opens up the spot for the team like the Devils, who, I mean,
they need some big wins and a little bit of help.
But let me break down the Devils here. We got 10 games left. 6 of those games come against teams at the bottom of the Eastern Conference.
2 against the Islanders.
2 against the Islanders. We play Florida, Carolina, Ottawa.
And then we got a game against Calgary in there.
Game against Calgary. They're second worst in the West there.
And we're still on our. That's still a lot of home games too, I think, right?
And I believe only 2 of those are away games.
Yeah.
Now, other New York news, I don't think the Islanders are even close to making it. They're probably one of the next ones to be eliminated. And, of course, the Rangers are in the hunt. What are they, the 6th seed now?
I think they're the 5 seed.
They're the 5 seed? Yeah. Of course, with the Rangers, they traded for Martin St. Louis, and he has yet to score. So far in his Ranger career, he's got, 10 games under his belt with them?
Something like that. I mean, I'm not really surprised at it.
I mean, the Rangers always do this. They did this with Nash. They did this. They have a history of doing this, trading the players that they have chemistry with, like Ryan Callahan, their captain, probably like the beaker of that chemistry set, and they get somebody who's known for offensive stats like scoring and things like that. This team, it's a defensive-minded team.
It's funny because sorry.
Go ahead.
it's because Tampa Bay was struggling after they got rid of St. Louis, and they dipped below the Rangers for a little bit in points.
Then Stamkos got hot.
Yeah, now they're 3 points up on the Rangers again. So, and Callahan is scoring down in Tampa, I believe. I think he has 2 goals.
He has more than 0.
Well, right
I'll tell you
here,
that
I mean,
much.
this is Rangers hockey. This is how the Rangers do things. They always trade the homegrown players, the players that mean the most in the Eastern Conference, the hard, gritty defensive players. They trade those guys away or just let them walk for these superstars who put up, 50 goals a year or have career stats of having, 50, 40-goal seasons. If you look at the guys like, they're bringing in Brad Richards, bringing in Rick Nash, bringing in Chris Drury back in the day, and bringing back Scott Gomez. How do you kill an NHL player's career? You get him a Rangers jersey. It's just simple fact. The Rangers play in the Eastern Conference before the new division switch up, arguably playing in the hardest division in hockey, the Atlantic Division. So, I mean, to make these moves, they're irrelevant because you can't bring a top scorer into a league like that. This isn't the NBA. We don't rely on top scorers each game. It's a 20-man game. And, to do it and to break up the chemistry, to break up the forechecking, I mean, it just doesn't work. When you tell a guy who scores 60 goals in the previous season to come down and block shots, you're going to score 20 goals a season. That's not how it works. Rangers got to understand. It's not the mindset of the New York Rangers. It's not the mindset of any NHL team. That's not how it works. So, I mean, the Rangers continue to do this. I mean, they're successful right now. They're going to make the playoffs. But, I mean, they'll always choke like they always do.
Confident about that one.
All right, we're not looking to make any enemies here, guys. Just because you're a Devils fan, and I know there's that Hudson River rivalry, doesn't mean you can, throw them under the bus. I know they have a history of doing that, though. FYI, Rangers fans.
No, I'm stating facts.
It's science. We all know this. Boston, we mentioned them on the news last week. They were riding a 10-game winning streak. Is that winning streak still going on?
Winning streak snapped because they lost last night in overtime, so they are 9-0-1 in the prior 10.
Lost to the Canadians.
Canadians last night.
That was a fun game to watch.
All right, but they clinched a spot, I believe, in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who else? There was San Jose, I think, clinched a spot in the West, along with St. Louis.
San Jose and Anaheim have clinched in the West.
All right, so
Chicago's next in line.
The Blues are the highest point getters in NHL right now at 105.
Yeah, that's right. They get a trophy for that, don't they?
President's Trophy.
President's Trophy. See, I thought it was that. I didn't.
It was something.
No,
you knew it was something.
I was going to say the President's Trophy, but I didn't want to sound like an idiot if I was wrong. So, I'm learning. Of course, they got Ryan Miller, who's been doing really well there in St. Louis ever since the trade from Buffalo.
He's a good goallie. He just needs to be given a decent team in front of him.
It's true. And, St.
more
Louis.
than a decent team now.
Definitely. He's got a great team. Who else is there? The Penguins, did they clinch yet?
No.
No.
Just because statistically they could still drop out.
Okay.
But, I mean, they're next to clinch.
Yeah,
they
next to
have
clinch.
they have 97 points, so they probably next game they're going to clinch.
All right. So we got them. We also have it's the top three teams in each of the each of the divisions,
yeah.
right?
So
And then
right
top
now,
2 wild cards.
Yes.
Right now it's Bruins, Canadians, Lightning in the Atlantic, the Penguins, the Rangers, and the Flyers in the Metropolitan. And then the wild card spots, there's 4 teams tied with 80 points right now, being led by the Blue Jackets, the Red Wings, then the Maple Leafs, Capitals, and then the next team is the Devils at 75.
All right, we mentioned the Maple Leafs going downhill, but let's talk about the Flyers who are powering their way into this playoff spot. They faced teams like the Blackhawks, the Penguins. They won a home and home against the Penguins. They swept that. They've been playing these great teams, and they've been winning, just powering their way through the to the playoffs.
Yeah, they had a game against the Kings the other day. I thought the Flyers were actually going to win that game. The Kings came back, like they lost their 2-0 lead, and then almost immediately responded with a goal. And I was more excited about that than anything else, because we just need the Flyers to lose. I don't want to see them in the playoffs.
And they're not losing.
No, I mean, they finally have a decent goalie.
I was watching that first Penguins game in the home and home, and they showed their schedule or something like that. I was like, wow, they're gonna have to fight hard if they want to make the playoffs. And you know what? They're fighting more than hard. They're battling out there, and
defense.
they're doing a great job. They know their season's on the line.
I mean, as a Devils fan, I always got to hate on the Flyers. They started off struggling this season. They fired head coach Peter Laviolette. Although I'm a Devils fan, Peter Laviolette's one of my favorite coaches. But I mean, this is what happens in hockey. Anything can happen. Everybody's in contention every game. Obviously until it comes down to the later months. Philadelphia's playing their style of hockey right now. That's that gritty style Philadelphia's been playing since the 70s, since Bobby Clark's been on the team. They're 7-2-1 of the last 10 games. What they do with this gritty offense, they play hard. They forecheck the whole game, the heavy forecheck. I mean, that's just the way Flyers are known for playing. And then there's grit after the whistle. They get teams to suck into that style of play. Philadelphia draws a lot of penalties, and they capitalize on that. So, I mean, if Philadelphia is playing the way they're playing, I mean, obviously, not only are they a playoff team right now, but a healthy playoff team that can go as far as they want to, depending on how long this, their style of play lasts.
Yeah, exactly. And with all these sports teams like the NCAA tournament, it's the NCAA playoffs. If you go in there with momentum, you got a lot pushing you through these games, and Philadelphia's got a lot of momentum going. So it's going to be interesting to see. If they can hold on to it. Of course, they're not clinched. That bottom half of the Eastern Conference, that's going to be very noteworthy to watch. So you're going to definitely want to watch that if you're a hockey fan. Just keep up with it. Just get an old-fashioned newspaper. Just go in and check the standings of the NHL. But also the Detroit Red Wings have a 22-year run of going to the playoffs.
22, yeah. They're trying to make it 23. Yep.
Yep, they're going to try and make it 23, and they're right on the brink of that.
Right now, they got to go through Boston, which is a tough game. Which the Devils they close out their season against Boston.
Now, hang on. Quick question: Boston already clinched. Does hockey do this playoff thing? Like if they clinch, they kind of bench their starters.
I've seen teams do it before. I've seen
not
teams
typically.
Do it.
Not typically.
Right.
I mean, you might play your backup
goalie.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not, sending your star first line players anywhere. This is.
I wouldn't mind seeing Zdeno and Chara sit out the game. Just saying.
So.
They got so.
Yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
They faced Buffalo twice. The Bruins or the
Sabres.
Red Wings.
Oh, the Red Wings faced the Sabres.
Faced the Sabres twice. They got Montreal, Pittsburgh, and they have a tough schedule. Carolina and then St. Louis to close out the season. That's not an easy finish, but at the same time, the Red Wings are doing this without their star players really playing.
Zetterberg is out after getting injured in
and
the.
Datsuk.
Yes, after getting injured in the Olympics, I was going to finish.
Red Wings have been hurt all year. All year they've been injury plagued. Honestly, the healthy Red Wings are the best team in the league, in my opinion. Right now, they are where they should be, with the injuries. But I mean, come playoff time, we got a couple guys back. Detroit hockey in the playoffs, that's something you don't really want to see on your opponent.
Definitely not, because they got 22 straight years of experience in the playoffs with this team. That's incredible. That really is.
Of course.
All right, what else is going on? How's the Avalanche doing? I know they were up there in the Western Conference.
Fourth
in
the West. Yep.
All right. You're looking at
they got young McKinnon, Nathan McKinnon on their team, and he's probably going to be the Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah, he's winning the Calder for sure.
Yeah, he's playing just incredible hockey right now. Last time I looked, he had 20 goals, 30 assists. I don't know where he's at now.
And I think Colorado went from the second worst team in hockey last year. They won the draft lottery. That's how they got the number one pick. But they were the second worst team. I think what really turned them around was the addition of Patrick Waugh behind the bench.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So much fun.
I mean, when you bring in a players coach like that who understands the game, I mean, Patrick Waugh, arguably the best goalie in hockey. I mean, you bring that guy in. I mean, look at the first game of the season when he went after preseason. Bruce Boudreau of the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, didn't he get suspended the first game of preseason? That's
He tried to go through.
That's a fiery manager right there.
So I mean, when you have a locker room full of young guys and you see one of the greatest NHL players to play the game and one of Hall of Famer coach going and protecting you like that after the first game of the season, that's something that riles you up. And to be in a hockey locker room, I'd want that head coach. I want the head coach who stands up for me every single game. So you got a bunch of young guys in that locker room. They bring Patrick Waugh, and that turns them around. Colorado's one of the hottest teams. They've been one of the hottest teams. Honestly, in my opinion, anybody out of the West could win it. I mean, you got 8 teams that are just known for playing gritty playoff hockey.
And have a great
offense. I mean, who knows where this Western Conference is going to go as far as who goes to the Cup. It's going to be a very interesting playoff season from the West. From the East, I mean, I can kind of pick you 3 teams who are going to go. Arguably, only 2 teams are going to go. But the West, anybody can win it. I wouldn't close your eyes on Colorado, even if they're ranked a 4 seed.
It's really about what goalie can get hot at the time. That's really what it comes down to in the West. If you get the hot goalie, I mean, your offense is going to go. I mean, if you get the hot goalie,
it's true. And last year, who was it? The Blackhawks had Carl Crawford. Of course, he was hot going in there. Corey Crawford, Carl. They had Corey Crawford going in there hot.
Baseball talk right now.
I know. Tim Thomas was hot when like you said, it was. I remember Roberto Luongo. He was hot when Vancouver. They didn't win.
That was back in 2010. Yep.
Yeah, he was going. He was. Well, I mean, extremely hot. Just look
at 2012 when Jonathan Quick led the Kings.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
I hated that.
But yeah, like you said, if you get the hot hand at the goalie position, odds are you're going to go pretty well in the NHL playoffs. And the NHL playoffs, like you said, the Western Conference, it could be anybody's. Eastern, you really know, like 2 or 3. It's much like the NBA playoff scenario. With you got the Heat and the Pacers in the Western Conference. I mean, the Eastern Conference. And pretty much from 1 to 8 in the West, I mean, you have safe bets. You could go with the Thunder, things like that as a safe bet. But honestly, it's more up in the air. So we got that. Let's see. Now, who else is at the bottom, like fighting for that 8th seed in the Eastern Conference?
You got the
Blue Jackets, right?
Blue Jackets, yeah.
Of Columbus, Ohio.
They have a tough end of the season schedule too. They're going up against. They have to go against Colorado. They got the Flyers, Chicago, a gimme game against the Islanders. Hopefully the Islanders just play tough. Phoenix, which is no easy task. Dallas. I mean, they're facing a lot of West Coast teams, which is a tough way to end the season. And then Tampa, and then Florida for their last game.
All right. How many of those are home?
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are home.
Okay.
Count. Yeah.
All right. Good. I'm glad you could do that. Who else is there? There's the Blue Jackets. You got the Red Wings.
You got Columbus, Detroit. And you got Washington and Toronto. Now,
Washington, of course, has Ovechkin. He's going to win the most points or most goals scored, probably?
Most goals.
Yeah, he'll take the Art Ross this year. Yeah. Columbus and Detroit both have 2 games on hand against versus Toronto and a game on hand versus Washington. So, obviously, that plays a huge factor. Yeah. To be honest, who grabs that 7-8 seed in the wild card there really could be anybody. The 5 teams down. If the Devils start getting hot, they want to start making the run, which is probably too late. But if they want to start making the run, I'm all for it. Who knows if they can slide in there? Honestly, I see Toronto keep on. They're going downhill. I mean,
and they're going downhill fast too.
That's just the way it works in hockey. Toronto always chokes.
Toronto chokes. The Rangers choke.
Yeah, I mean. But
it's all science.
Who knows? Hockey, anybody can win it. That's the joy of hockey.
It really is. I really enjoy watching the hockey playoffs, the NHL playoffs. And I really, as you can probably tell, I'm not really into hockey. But I got more into it this year, and I can't wait to watch the playoffs this year.
Playoffs are always exciting to watch.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, you're playing for the most glorious trophy in sports. I mean, right there off the bat.
It's huge. The Stanley Cup is huge. Now, hang on. Do they keep those? And one is made each year?
No.
It's shared, isn't it?
No. It's shared around.
Yep.
Each player will get their day with the cup, or a couple of days with the cup. Starts off with the captain, obviously.
You get all these Twitter pictures of them sleeping with it and things like that.
I mean, like they say, it's 35 pounds, but when you lift it, it doesn't weigh anything.
Right.
I've been next to the cup. I've touched the cup before. I mean, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever laid my eyes on.
It's the holy grail of Canada.
I mean, I really just can't. But going back to what you were saying, each player's name gets engraved in the Stanley Cup, so your name is forever on the trophy. I mean, you got guys dating back to 1928, whose name's on that Stanley Cup.
Now, all right, let's say the Penguins win it this year.
Yep.
Would Sidney Crosby's name be reapplied to the trophy?
What do you mean by reapplied?
As it's already on the trophy now because they won it recently.
Yeah, everybody on that team. So we'll say 2013, 2014 Pittsburgh Penguins. Everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Eventually, you're gonna have to run out of room, aren't you?
What they do is they take the top tiers of the earlier teams off, and they put that back in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
So like this year, maybe like the 1930 guys come off to put this team in.
All right.
That's just the way it goes. Yep.
Wow. Okay. See, this is teaching hockey with Andrew, right? Only here on the SportsStop here on WSJU Radio. If you want to call in with hockey, 718-990-3SJU. You have any opinions on the playoffs? Who's your team? If you want to disagree with Andrew and say that the Rangers will not choke, the Maple Leafs will hang on. Whatever you want to do, you can call in at 718-990-3758. We're always welcome to callers. Of course, the callers are always welcome, especially if they're loyal listeners. We got not that much time left here in the segment, but want to kind of switch gears, go down under, kind of just recap what happened. Dodgers, Diamondbacks really quickly.
Yeah, my boy Trumbo went yard.
Yeah, Mark Trumbo went 2 for 8. Of course, the newest Diamondback. He went 2 for 8, right? We said 2 for 9. 2 for 9. Yeah, we were both wrong.
Well,
I said 1 for 9.
He did hit a home run, which I was ecstatic about.
Oh yeah. But the Dodgers swept the 2-game series. Of course, Kershaw, right where he left off with the Cy Young Award last year, went 6 2/3, giving up 1 earned. Hyun-Jin Ryu was the second starter.
Another fantasy.
He went 5 innings, didn't give up a run.
I think he got in trouble and they just pulled him.
I think so too.
Early.
So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I think it's. What do you guys feel about baseball or pretty much anything going overseas, like to a place like Australia?
I mean, it's good to get it to get the world brand out. I guess to brand it more, but. I mean, how many fans did they get at that game? Do you know?
I have no idea. That's something interesting to look up. We could probably do that after the break.
Yeah.
During the break.
I mean, really? I mean, I know the football's a big hit over in Europe. I know that they pack the stadium for those games. And
WSU?
And yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
And what was I saying?
The game's also start before you.
Andrew?
That is true.
All right. What's your name?
So I mean,
Fine.
having
All right.
games
What are you guys
overseas
talking
like that. I mean,
All right.
horrible start. But
Yeah, exactly.
at the
Yeah,
same
we're
time,
gonna
it's
put
just
you
great
on
to.
the
It's
Actually,
good to
pretty
get
soon.
it.
Like right now.
It's
All
good
right.
to market it. Like
You'll
that.
hear me introduce you then. You can come on.
So there's always that,
You know,
and then there's
I also think, was it Zach Greinke that said he didn't even want to go over there? I think
Greinke was really against it.
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, the
All right,
players
hang on.
doesn't seem like they that enthusiastic about it.
And so, I mean, there's a lot of players aren't really for it, but at the same time,
I like what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea, but if you're not getting the fan attendance, I don't know about the baseball, but I know the football was pretty good turnout.
All right, everybody, we have a guest caller calling in. His name is Ryan. He's going to be talking about the NHL. Ryan, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good. How are you? So you want to talk about the NHL?
Yep.
We just kind of finished talking about the playoff scenarios, things like that. We were talking about the Devils. Well, first of all, what's your fan? What fan are you?
The Rangers.
Okay, there we go. All right, so we had Andrew over here bashing them, saying that they're historically known for choking. I'm going to let you defend yourself and your team. Why don't you go off on a rant on Andrew right now?
Well, can't really talk because the Devils are still way behind in 6th place, I think, right now. Right now, yeah, the Rangers have been choking a little bit. I don't really know what else to say. I think this year they have a strong chance. All
right, Ryan, what's going on with St. Louis? The guy has yet to score. You guys got this offensive goal scorer, and he hasn't scored yet. Is it what's going on? Is it just him, or is it the team?
Yeah, it's killing me. I'm a huge fan of St. Louis. I don't think his line is working too well for him right now.
Do you think he just needs to be put on a different line and have him go back to to the ways he was in Tampa Bay, or do you just want to put him on the line with Nash and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean that could work. I think they should just play around with it a little more. I'm not really a big fan of his power play unit either. I don't think that's working too well.
Yeah, definitely. So what else? So how far do you think the Rangers are going to go in the playoffs? I mean, of course they're not clinched yet, but I'm going to say that they make it.
Yeah, they're going to make it, definitely. I don't know. This year with the playoffs, who knows? Pittsburgh's really strong. Boston's strong. I don't know. I want to be hopeful and say that they win the cup, but it's the Rangers. Who knows?
Ryan, who did the Rangers have matched up in the playoffs against right now, if the playoffs started today? Philly?
I don't even know.
Oh, thanks, Ryan. It's Ryan's birthday, everybody. Just to let everybody know.
Oh, hey, happy birthday,
it is Ryan's
Ryan.
Birthday.
Thank you.
Glad you're spending with the SportsStop here on WSJU. Do you go to St. John's University, or are you somewhere else?
No, I'm actually at Rowan University.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
Very nice. All right, thanks for the call, Ryan. It was great to hear from you.
No problem.
All right, Ryan, take it easy, buddy.
Of course, happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, that was a great call in from Ryan. Of course, you can call in too at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. Guys, that was our first caller of the show ever. We've been doing this for, what, 7 weeks? So that was...
It's been 7 weeks?
I think so.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I know. Maybe, I think it was 7 weeks.
Something like that.
Yeah. All right, so that was fantastic. I'm always excited to get a caller here on WSJU on the SportsStop. Of course, that was our first one, so we're not really familiar with it. But it's 12 o'clock. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be talking about... Well, first we'll give you our dum-dums. Guys who didn't really get it right this week. And then we'll be talking about the MLB season. We're going to be talking about the AL East. So stick around. You don't want to go away. Here on the SportsStop on WSJU Radio. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the SportsStop here on WSJU Radio. It is 12:03. Hopefully you're enjoying the show and you're enjoying your lunch down at Marillac Cafeteria or over the website at wsjuradio.weebly.com or on the TuneIn app by searching WSJU Radio. We have another caller calling in about hockey. See, we skipped the hockey segment last week. Obviously, these people were, just waiting for it to come on.
They're getting eager. That they want to talk the greatest sport on earth.
That's right. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Dan onto the show. So Dan, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good. So you mentioned I answered the phone. You mentioned a new NHL playoff format.
Yeah, they've introduced the division format this year, and it's just not as successful. It's not going to be as successful as I thought the 1 through 8 seeding was.
All right. Why is that?
Well, this year, they're going to pick up the top 3 teams in each division, and then there's going to be the 2 wild card spots. And from there, you're going to have a division champion who plays for the other division champion for the conference. And the way the numbers are going to work out, you could possibly have 5 teams from one division and only 3 from another. And technically, you could have a team from the Metropolitan Division winning the Atlantic.
Okay.
Which doesn't make sense in my mind.
Yeah, that's kind of funky.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the new realignment for the divisions is terrible. I mean, it could have easily been solved knowing that you wanted to make it easier for each team so that they play in the time zone of their preference, moving Detroit.
You could have kept Detroit in the West.
Detroit was the big one. Obviously, they wanted them out of the West because, playing half their games in the Pacific time zone was just killing their travel schedule as well as their fatigue. So, Dan, I mean, you're a Pittsburgh guy. How do you think Pittsburgh shapes in with the new division format? Do you think they're still got a successful run going, or do you think this stops them?
Well, I mean, I'm not. The fact that Detroit might get in as a wild card team, we might have to see them in the second round or in the first round. Is not very fun. And then the fact that the teams don't get reseeded after is really going to hurt because we're going to have to see either Philadelphia or New York, because they want these division rivals in the playoffs. So, I mean, the fact that we just lost 2 games to Philadelphia last week, 4-0 and 4-3, not sitting well with me right now.
Yeah, I mean, those Flyers are hot. Of course, they kind of pretty much got started off of that home-and-home against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And, of course, the Detroit Red Wings would not be a nice first-round matchup to a number 1 seed. So that's going to be interesting.
Not any round matchup in the playoffs.
That's right.
Yeah, and then, Columbus just had one last night, and so now they're in that spot. And they're not a team that you can overlook either.
Definitely. Of course, the Eastern Conference, that's very interesting to watch, especially that 7 and 8 seed with this new playoff format. Everybody seems like they're tied for 80 points, things like that. So it's going to be definitely fun to watch.
I mean, Dan, let me ask you something. You're obviously number 2 here in the Eastern Conference. We got 4 teams battling it out for the last 2 wild card spots, all tied up at 80 points. Columbus, Detroit, Washington, Toronto. Who do you think? Say those 4. My Devils are sitting 5th there. But say those 4 are 2 of the 4 teams that make it. Out of those 4 teams, who do you got getting the 7th and 8th spot?
7th and 8th spot. I mean, Detroit's just the historic franchise. They've battled injuries all year. So if they come back and they're healthy, I think they're definitely a force to be reckoned with in the East. And then, I mean, the East spot's really up for grabs. Washington has been up and down all year. Columbus made the playoffs 2 years ago. And then Toronto has we remember the fallout in the last 7 minutes in Game 7. So that's what's really popped up. It's always going to be about who gets hot here at the end of the year with under 10 games left.
It's going to be definitely fun to watch. Thanks for the call, Dan.
No problem.
Take it easy, bud.
Bye.
All right, that was Dan, of course. Our second caller coming in
history
within 5 minutes.
That's impressive.
I know, it's really impressive. So, of course, we got some nice hockey insight from our 2 callers. It was great to have. Now let's, spring's coming. Let's continue with our MLB preview. We're going to be talking about the AL East. That is our final. See, we did this perfectly.
Yeah, right on.
The divisions, we went division by division, and the final division is the final Wednesday before the start of the season in the States here.
I think that one show got canceled, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah, that one snow day got canceled. But, yeah, this was perfect. So let's get going talking about this AL East. Of course, last year, we'll start with the Red Sox. Last year, they won it all.
Yeah.
They were defending world champions.
Whoop-de-doo.
They gained a few players. They gained A.J. Pierzynski.
Oh,
who replaces the lost Jared Saltalamacchia. They added Edward Mujica, who was the closer for most of the season for the St. Louis Cardinals, who they beat. Yeah, they got Edward Mujica. They of course they beat the Cardinals in the World Series, and they also added Grady Sizemore, who's always been injury prone, but the guy's got so much talent. And he's been impressing everybody in spring, and he's still healthy. It's amazing after like a month of playing baseball, he's still okay. The guy's made out of paper mache. That guy's bones are incredible. Of course, they lost Jacoby Ellsbury to the Yankees. They lost Stephen Drew to free agency. Actually, they could easily still pick him up.
Nah, the Mets will pick him up.
We'll see. But they have a bunch of young players. Bogart's moving to shortstop. Will Middlebrooks going to third base. Let's see if he can, stay up. And of course, Jackie Bradley Jr. is going to be in the outfield. At least they're looking for that.
Yeah, they don't have Grady Sizemore listed on ESPN actually.
Listen, ESPN, that's baloney. You got to go with the MLB.com.
Where does MLB.com have him?
It's backup outfielder, backup center fielder. They have him listed. See? Okay. And that's updated probably weekly or whatever. So, guys, this team was one of the oldest last year. Now they have these young studs coming in as starting position players. How do you think that's going to work out? What do you think, Troy?
I like the Red Sox. I mean, they got depth in their rotation, too, with Lackey and Buchholz and John Lester. They got some depth there. And then, I think that Xander Bogaerts is going to win MVP this year.
MVP?
I mean, not MVP.
Okay.
That's the bold prediction.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year? All right,
I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year this year.
See, that's more appropriate.
Scared me for a second.
Let's see. They have Clay Buchholz, first full season coming off that shoulder injury. Mm-hmm. He was 9-0 before he went down in June with a 1.7 ERA or whatever. It was ridiculous. So I mean, he's going to be back. They have Lester, Lackey, Dubront, Peavy, and Buchholz going as the rotation. Of course, they have. Wait, who's their closer? Oh, Uehara.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I mean, their pitching's not bad. I never really liked Dubront, but
yeah, that's their number 5.
Yeah,
that's what you're supposed to get.
Yeah. Peavy, I love Jake Peavy, but I mean, he ain't what he used to be.
No,
he'll have one good game, one bad game. That's what I see from him. Definitely. And who else? Lackey. Lackey's a bulldog. Lackey will go as far as he can to try and get a win.
They got Lester. I mean, who knows what you're going to get out of Lester each start? It just seems like he's inconsistent now.
I mean, but he's still the ace. He really turned it on in the playoffs last year. So hopefully, maybe he flipped a switch.
Hopefully he didn't.
Have they? They lost all these guys. Well, not all these guys. I mean, they didn't lose that many people. Well, they lost Ellsbury.
Ellsbury's a blow. I think he was a big guy in the locker room.
I mean, he's been around for a while, yeah.
Yeah, obviously the other players are going to miss his presence. But, I mean, at the end of the day, when you come back and you look at this lineup, I mean, it's still pretty much intact. So, I'm not a Red Sox fan. If I was rooting for the Red Sox, I really wouldn't be too worried about the roster going into the year. I mean, it's a strong team. So I really just wouldn't be worried.
I really do like their young talent that's going to be thrown into the starting spots. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
I'm worried about that Bogarts. I think he's going to develop into a stud. Sadly, just hopefully
he very well could.
He may be able to pull out a Rookie of the Year. I mean,
yeah. I mean, we're going to give our picks for awards later on the show, but I like the preview right there. All right, let's move on to the second place team who made the wild card last year, the Rays. They gained Balfour, of course, from the Athletics. They lost Fernando Rodney. But I think the key thing is they kept David Price. Everybody thought, last year the contract, he's going to be moved this offseason.
I think it was a mistake to keep him.
They didn't. I mean, I don't know, but they didn't. They didn't let him go. Of course, he's going to be the ace of that rotation. I mean, who knows? If the season goes downhill, maybe he's traded at the deadline. Maybe if it even doesn't go downhill, he's traded at the deadline. Because, you never know with the Rays. They always trade.
Yeah, I was shocked that he wasn't traded in the offseason.
Oh, yeah, me too. But these guys, they always seem to get it done. You look at their lineup, it's not really flashy. They have Will Myers out in right field. They have Evan Longoria third base.
If he can stay healthy, that's the thing with
Right.
Longoria right now.
James Loney, and he was kind of an outcast, and then he did really well last year with the Rays. Same thing with Yunel Escobar.
Desmond Jennings.
I don't know what kind of water Joe Madden's giving them, but they just love Joe Madden. They want to win for Joe Madden, and they're just scrappy and they know how to win. Each year, I kind of put them off as like the fourth place team in the division, and they always come out surprising me. So it's a lot of fun to watch them play and their style of play. And you never know what that lineup. I mean, last year they had Matt Joyce leading off. It's just so random, but it's genius.
Random, but it works.
Yeah, it works.
And if it works, why stop it?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Who's their pitcher staff? They have
Price,
Cobb.
Moore.
I like.
Archer's good.
Yep.
They have
I think this
really good young staff.
They do.
And I think this is the deepest staff in the AL East.
I think it very well
They
could
got
be.
Hellickson too, but I think he's out.
Yeah, he's hurt. I think he's out until May at
Till
least.
May,
So
after the
Hellickson's
surgery.
going to be the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, former Rookie of the Year, Hellickson. So I mean, I love their pitching rotation. Kind of sneaky, especially Alex Cobb. He's not really the guy you want to look out for him, but I think he's a real X factor. Of course, last year he came off of that scary injury to the head, but I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing this Rays team, as I always am each and every year. Now let's go to the Orioles. They added Nelson Cruz. 1 year, $8 million.
I think that is
pretty much nothing.
That is a scary signing for teams in the AL.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially in Baltimore, that park is so small. I mean, he's coming from Texas, so
That's a home run park right there.
Besides, Toronto really? Any park in the AL is relatively small.
Pretty much, yeah. In the AL East.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could argue the Dome, Tropicana, but
you hit it down the line though. They got
it's
that
true.
short.
They have the Longoria corner that put him in the wild card 2 years ago or 3 years ago. They have young pitchers like Zach Britton. I think he's listed as their bullpen guy, but he could easily start.
Ubaldo being the ace.
Ubaldo Jimenez is in there. They just gained
Bud Norris, Wei Yin Chen,
but
Chris Tillman.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a boomer bust kind of rotation. But they lost Jim Johnson last year.
Who's Tommy Hunter? Never even heard of him.
Tommy Hunter, I remember him from the Rangers from a while ago. But he looks like he could be the closer. Maybe Darren O'Day, former Met great.
Do you think they're going to platoon it, or?
I mean, they could. They could platoon it. I don't know. Word is they haven't won. Nobody outright won the spot in camp. I think it's going to be Tommy Hunter, but I don't know. Manny Machado, of course, the stud third baseman. He's coming off knee surgery. He won't be ready for the start of the year, but, I mean, when he is ready, the guy's a double machine.
He's going to develop into the best third baseman in the league.
Definitely, if he doesn't move to short.
Yeah.
But I like him at third. Of course, they have J.J. Hardy, Adam Jones. They've got a pretty nice lineup. Adam Jones, Chris Davis, of course, Nelson Cruz now.
I mean, I love their lineup. Their corner infielders are arguably the two best players in that division. The only thing that scares me really is the top of the rotation. They don't really have much there.
Yeah, I don't want to compare them to the Rangers, but I mean, they do have a deadly lineup, but not so deadly pitching rotation. Well, in my opinion. But, they're keeping the core of the players. They're keeping Chris Davis. They kept Adam Jones. They got all these guys from a year and 2 years ago that were in contention. So, I mean, hopefully that experience can pay off for them. And then fourth place, we have the Yankees coming in last year, of course. They added, I think they're the most improved team in this offseason.
And that's what the Yankees do. If they don't make the playoffs, they go out and spend.
Exactly. They added Jacoby Ellsbury, Brian McCann, Masahiro Tanaka, Brian Roberts, Kelly Johnson, Carlos Beltran.
Beltran, huge.
So, I mean, that with Beltran signing and Ellsbury signing, that puts guys like Ichiro Suzuki on the bench.
He might get traded, I think.
I mean, he might get traded. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think they can get that much
They can't get
for
much
him
out of it because of the contract.
Yeah. Plus, age, and he's not even a starter. Of course, they lost Curtis Granderson. They lost Mariano Rivera to retirement. Now David Robertson's going to be their closer.
Yeah, D-Robin.
I mean, I think he can do it, but like just knowing that he's in the shadow.
Yeah, he always makes it interesting.
Yeah,
that's how he pitches.
I mean,
and he's
call him Houdini for a reason.
And he's following the great Mariano Rivera. It's like Aaron Rodgers coming in to Green Bay after Brett Favre was the quarterback.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course. But I mean, it's just
no complaints,
especially in New York with the media. It's going to be interesting to see. I think he can do it, though. I like him.
Robertson always seems to escape the media too.
Yeah,
he's like,
listen.
He really seems to always escape.
That's because he was a setup man. Now he's the closer.
But at the same time,
he blows a save. Everybody's going to his locker. Everybody's going to his locker.
No, because there's still Jeter.
No.
It's Jeter's final season.
Listen, he's always going to have he's going to have like Pedro Gomez of ESPN following him all season like he did with Barry Bonds. He's going to have plenty of guys, but everybody's going to go to David Robinson's locker if he blows a save. Of course, it is Jeter's last year. Maybe a win one for the Gipper type of thing.
Hopefully.
Teixeira's back from injury. He had a wrist injury last year, kept him out all year.
Yeah, I mean,
wrist injuries they're interesting.
Yeah,
you never know what you're gonna get.
I'm hoping if he can bat 260 and have like 30 home runs, more than satisfied.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that might be pushing it, sadly.
I mean, we'll see.
He's
always known as being a slow starter.
Slow starter. I mean, he has a really good eye, though.
That's true. He does.
I'm just hoping that
the guy looks like Herman Munster from the Munsters. Guy's got a real blockhead. just for the record. Of course, A-Rod. A lot of things going on with him this offseason.
Cares about A-Rod.
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
He better not be near New York. I'll tell you that much. He better not come close to that Yankees clubhouse. Probably, and get paid like $30 million to do it.
Yep.
But honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I think this is the most improved club this offseason, and that's scary.
I think so too.
I mean, and like I said, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They don't want to sit.
I mean,
the playoffs ever again.
That's Yankees baseball. They have the money; they'll spend it.
Yep.
And Yankees are not number one in the MLB for payroll.
Nope.
Dodgers took that over.
First time in 15 years.
So there's that.
But still, I mean, how much is it? Like $800 billion the payroll. Now the last place last year was the Blue Jays. They didn't do much this offseason. It's really a question of health. Can Reyes stay healthy?
No.
Can Joey Bats, Jose Bautista stay healthy?
No.
The pitching's kind of a question mark. I mean,
Who is their pitching?
They got R.A. Dickey, who I think is going to have a bounce-back season. Especially with that 80-mile-per-hour thing of his, the knuckleball.
Morrow.
They have Brandon Morrow, who's coming off a major injury. Mark Burley, I don't like it. He knows how to pitch, but I don't trust him. Anymore, at least.
I mean, I'm a firm believer in the Blue Jays. You guys see me walk around campus with my Blue Jays hat on.
Yeah, I saw you last night with it.
I am a Blue Jays fan. Honestly, I don't really think we have the pieces this year.
No, I don't think so.
I think we make a little move. I don't think we'll finish last. But I think a little bit of improvement. I mean, as long as Jose Reyes stays healthy, Dickey has the bounce-back year that he needs, Laurie out there in the corner. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Maybe Laurie can wake up and get to that prospect status that he once was.
I mean, I sure hope so. The only thing that I'm afraid of is the lack of pitching.
Yeah, that's a real problem.
I mean, this is a very good lineup. You got Reyes, Laurie, Edwin Encarnacion.
Yep.
Bautista,
he's
Rasmus.
He's a 35 home run threat. Him and Bautista.
Yeah. I mean, they have the pieces. It's just that it all depends on pitching, and I don't think all the pieces are there from this year.
Right. All right. So, our prediction for the AL East. Let's start with last place, of course, and work our way up. So, Troy, who do you got for last place in the AL East?
I'm going to go with the Blue Jays. Just the fact that their pitching was among the worst in the league last year.
Yeah.
They really did nothing to address it in the offseason.
Right.
That kind of turns me off.
Yeah. Also, they have, Cam Jansen as a closer?
Casey Jansen.
I'm sorry.
I'm the hockey player.
I'm also thinking of the childhood book. You know, Cam Jansen. She was a little girl, and she like solved mysteries with her photographic memory. Do you know what I'm talking about? You're smiling. No, nobody.
We're smiling because we think you're crazy.
Did you guys read as a child?
Yeah, like Curious George and like the normal books.
I'm talking. Stop it. Cam Jansen, Amelia Bedelia. Ever hear of her?
I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
Okay, good. If you didn't, then that would be a problem. All right, Andrew, you said that they're not coming in. The Blue Jays aren't coming in last. Who do you think?
Skip me. I got to think some more.
Oh, okay, all right. Evan, who do you think?
Yeah, I'm going Blue Jays as well. I mean, they didn't do anything to address any problems. They're just banking on being healthy with injury-prone guys.
Yeah, that's a no-no for me. I'm also going with the Blue Jays. I don't see Reyes staying healthy. Actually, he has a calf problem already. Batista, I like Joey Bats, but I don't know if he can stay healthy.
No.
And their pitching is just, it's questionable. It's way too questionable. All right, Andrew, you got a pick?
All right, listen. I'll put the Blue Jays in last of the AL East.
At least you accept it, unlike Adam.
It's either last or first. It's either last or first. No in between.
Okay.
All right.
Very
good.
All right. Now let's go fourth place. Who do you got, Troy?
I'll go with the Orioles because, like I said, they're going to hit for like 200 home runs this year with Davis, Wieters, Adam Jones. But their pitching, Jimenez is their first starter, and they just signed him a couple weeks ago.
Right, exactly.
I'm not too sold on that.
All right, Andrew, you got this all set up now?
I got in fourth the New York Yankees.
Okay. Why?
Honestly, I don't believe in the fact that you can just throw money around and that's what wins you championships. Yes, it has worked in the past, but
Yeah.
I'm not for it this year. I'm not sure the health or stability of the rotation of the Yankees, although they have all the pieces. I don't know how much Kuroda's going to really show. Tanaka, I mean, let's not forget, yeah, he's a high-rated guy out of Japan.
It's his first
season
in the
First
States.
season, though.
Yeah.
Who knows?
First season's
You know,
usually the best.
I don't think it was right for him to come into the AL. I think he would have been better off in the NL playing against pitchers.
I think he should have went to the Cubs. I was rooting for him to go to the Cubs.
Even Los Angeles, I think they would have been a good fit.
They have too much.
Yeah, well, that is true. I mean, I'm just not. I'm not sure what the situation is in the middle infield with the Yankees. Nor am I sold on the third baseman. I just don't know. I just have a gut feeling that the Yankees just aren't going to prove anything this year. I got them finishing fourth.
All right, Evan.
Yeah, I got Baltimore finishing fourth.
Okay.
Their pitching just is way too questionable.
Yeah, I like their.
I don't think their offense can bail out their pitchers enough throughout the season.
I mean, they've done that pretty much the past 2 years.
Exactly.
So it's not like they can't. I think that they.
But they don't have anyone
won't,
in
though.
the bullpen that can really hold it down.
Exactly. When you go into the season without a full-time closer, that's troubling for me. That alone, not even looking at the rotation. So I have Baltimore fourth as well. All right, third place, Troy.
I think it's a three-team race.
Okay.
At least I think that they're going to send 3 teams to the playoffs this year. And I'll put the Red Sox in third just because they lost a lot this offseason.
Okay.
And the guys that they added, like Pierzynski and Sizemore, those are more like complementary players. They didn't really add any like top-tier guys.
Right.
They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of youth. But I think they'll finish in third, still make the playoffs, though.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with everything that was just said there. It is going to be a 3-team race, and I do have the Red Sox finishing third. Like said before, I mean, AJ Pierzynski is a good addition, but it's not really a momentum change. The stability of the pitching lineup is questionable. They did lose a lot and didn't really replace. So I got the Red Sox finishing third year.
All right. Evan, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Rays.
Okay. Why?
I mean, their starting pitchers are probably the best in the AL, like depth wise. And then, I mean, Balfour coming over, that's a good acquisition, but I don't think their offense will be potent enough to be able to
keep up with the big boys.
Yeah.
All right. I pretty much agree with everything you said. The pitching, of course, is second to none in this AL East with the Rays, but I have them finishing third as well. That offense is kind of iffy to me, especially if Longoria can. I mean, if Longoria can stay healthy, maybe they'll move up to second or first even. But I mean, he's sort of injury prone, so I want to see him play with full year before I can pick them. But I always pick them like third or fourth. And look, they're always in second or first. So that's what happens. All right, now our top two. Let's go first, second. Troy, who you got?
First, I'll go with the Yankees, and then second, I'll go with the Rays. I
Okay.
like the Rays, and they're going to win like they always do with pitching and defense, like we were just talking about. Their pitching is very good. I don't know about their offense so much. I'm going to put the Yankees on top of them just because of the additions that they had this offseason. And the Yankees aren't going 2 straight years with missing the playoffs, and I think that they're going to win the division.
All right.
All right, number 1, I got the Baltimore Orioles.
Okay. I like that.
I think
Bold pick.
I think it's going to be a good year for Baltimore. I mean, they got a lot of good pieces here. Machado, Chris Davis, who's that? Nelson Cruz on the team now.
Yes.
I mean, can't like we stated before. Camden Yards, easy home run ballpark.
That goes both ways, though.
And it does go both ways. But I think I like the Orioles a lot this year. I mean, in my opinion, they got 2 Gold Glove outfielders there, and Nick Markakis and Adam Jones.
Yep.
As long as he doesn't blow a bubble and drop the
Yeah,
ball.
exactly. And I mean, Ubaldo Jimenez. I'm going to tell you right now, he's a 20-win pitcher this year.
Oh, okay. All right,
And then,
I like this.
and then number 2, I got Tampa Bay.
All right. Okay, I can see that. Evan, 1, 2.
1, I'm going to go Yankees. I love all their signings this year. I think this is the first season that Jacoby will play more than 150 games. I'll go 130 games for Jacoby.
What are you going to go with? You said over 150
all right,
and then 130.
All right. I'll split it 140.
Okay.
I'll split it 140.
You know he's injured right now, right?
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Okay, all right.
But I like their acquisitions. I think McCann's going to have a monster year. Beltran's finally in New York.
What do you mean finally in New York? He's been in New York. Well,
Finally on New York, on the Yankees.
okay, there you go.
Sorry.
Watch yourself.
Sorry.
Now who's second?
Red Sox. I'm going Red Sox.
All right, I agree. I think the Red Sox, they're just a little suspect for me. I like the Yankees acquisitions especially, and of course that's a team filled with experienced guys like Beltran in the playoffs. But I have the Yankees winning only if CeCe can do well. If he has a season like he did last year, no way, no way. Corota.
You're going to get the same out of him every year.
Listen, the guy's getting older. You go. It's a question mark for me now. But I have the Yankees winning, and then the Red Sox coming in second. Next go around at the next segment, we're gonna. You have something to say? No. Okay. Yes, you put your hand up. Next go around, we're gonna be talking about the awards that we're predicting. We're gonna have our bold predictions, MLB bold predictions. Both league MVPs, both league Cy Young awards, both league Rookie of the Years, and of course our World Champion pick preseason. You gotta love it. So stick around here on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop. James, Atticus, Evan.
Okay. All right, fellas. Let's go! In the morning, the box said everyone attack, and they turned it to a ballroom blitz. And the girl in the corner said, boy, I want one, it'll turn it to a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz.
Welcome back, everybody, here on the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio. It is 12:37. The final 23 minutes of our show here on this beautiful but cold Wednesday. It's very sunny, though. Wednesday the 25th or the 26th? I think it's the 26th.
26.
Yeah, I think so, too. All right, so it's the moment you've all been waiting for these past few weeks. We did our MLB previews. Now we're going to give you our award winners, our bold predictions, and our World Series pick. So, guys, let's start with the AL. Let's start with the AL MVP. Now, Troy, I know you made the mistake in saying Bogarts was going to be your MVP. I know that was a mistake, though,
yes.
right? Yes, that was a mistake. All right, so who you got?
I'll go with Mike Trout. I don't think that Cabrera is going to make it a three-peat. I think it's going to be Mike Trout
All right.
for the AL MVP.
Okay, all right, I like that.
I'll go with Mike Trout. I mean, I think everybody kind of has him going for the MVP. So I mean, I'll just hop on the bandwagon for that one.
All right. I mean, the guy's great. He can field. He can run. Of course, we all know that he can hit.
I mean, he's gonna be the first $300 million man.
I agree with that.
So I mean,
It just depends on when he gets it.
Well, it's going to happen after the season,
After his MVP campaign. How about you, Evan?
I'm gonna go Miggy again.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Miggy. Dude's the best pure hitter in baseball. He loses fielder as his protection, but I think Victor Martinez can provide some good protection for him. He's got Kinsler there. He can get on base before him. I think he'll get it done still.
All right. Now, my original pick was going to be Adrian Beltre because this is a nice little tidbit for all you fans at home. The past 3 years, the guy who has hit in front of Prince Fielder has won an MVP. Of course, the past 2 years with Miguel Cabrera, and then the year before with Ryan Braun. However, it has come to my attention that Adrian Beltre will be behind Prince Fielder. He will hit cleanup, and Prince Fielder will be third. So I was like, uh-oh, what do I do now?
Who's that number 2 hitter?
The number 2 hitter? I don't know, Elvis Andrus? Sin-Shu Chu? They're not winning the MVP.
Is going to win the MVP then.
So, with going off that stat, yes, going off Jimmy Minchie's Nuggets, going off that Prince Fielder pick, that one, Sin-Shu Chu would win. However, I'm not doing that. I'm going with Eric Hosmer, first baseman for the Kansas City Royals. I think the Royals are going to be in it. He's going to be hitting third. He's got guys like Aoki and who's that second base? I'm going to try on a blank. They just got him from the Tigers. Infante.
Yeah.
Omar Infante. Those two guys, very experienced in the first and second. Yes. He's got Butler behind him.
So why didn't you pick him in a draft?
I did.
Oh, you did?
In hours.
Oh, I didn't even know. I take that back.
Took me a long time.
Just kidding.
I mean, he's got Billy Butler to behind him, so he's got some protection. Through the first 50 games last season, he only had 1 home run. Then George Brett came in and cleared his head. After that, he hit 16 home runs. He's also as clutch as you can come. After the 7th inning last year, 353 average with 7 home runs after the 7th inning. And as Hosmer goes, so does the Royals. So I think the Royals are going to get wild card, and he's going to be the reason because of that, and he's getting the MVP.
All right, I like it.
There we go. All right, now we'll go to the NL MVP. Who you got, Troy?
I want to say McCutchen again, but I like Hanley a lot on the Dodgers. I mean, he was just tearing it up last year for them, and I think he's going to continue it this year. I think they have a stacked lineup. They have a stacked rotation. They're going to be the best team in the NL probably, so I'm going to take Hanley Ramirez.
It's a shame he didn't play the full season last year. How about you, Andrew?
I'm going with Andrew McCutchen. I mean, he's already proved that he could play and turn around the team in Pittsburgh. So I think with the recent success Pittsburgh's now has, I think Andrew McCutchen continues that, leads them to the playoffs once again, and maybe a little deeper into the playoffs. But I think Andrew McCutchen overall gets the NL MVP.
All right. How about you, Evan?
I'm going to go Joey Votto.
Joey Votto. See, you told me last night that you were going to go someone else.
I'm going to go Joey Votto.
All right. Why?
I just think he's going to have a monster season at this point. Thinking about it, he's going to have a monster season, I think. I think he's just going to swing a lot more and limit his walks, and he's actually going to attack. I just have a feeling that he's just going to attack the ball this year instead of getting that on-base percentage of like 500 or whatever it is usually.
Yeah, he's a walk machine.
I think he's going to start free swinging a little bit more, kind of like Adrian Gonzalez did.
Okay.
And I think he's going to have a monster year.
All right. See, last night you told me Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, I changed it.
Which was my second pick, but I'm going with Hanley as well, Troy. The guy loves playing for the Dodgers. He was just unhappy in Florida back when they were at the Florida Marlins. Or actually, he was there in Miami too. He's got Adrian Gonzalez as protection, and I think a big factor is that he's a shortstop, which is it might be the most important position. It's one of the top 2 most important positions in baseball. So I think he's got that going for him, and I think a lot of people see that. I mean, last year he had 20 home runs in half a season. I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to hit 40, but I say he goes, maybe 30. He could be a 30-30 guy for all we know. I say it's more 30-20 with stolen bases, but I like McCutchen. He's hitting in third in that lineup, and again, I think they're going to be the best team in the NL. All right, so we got the MVP's gone. How about the Cy Youngs?
AL or NL?
We'll go with AL right now.
AL Cy Young. A
Yep.
lot of good pitchers in the AL. Felix, I think, could contend for it, definitely. Verlander could have a bounce-back season. Scherzer as well. Price. I'll go with Felix Hernandez to win the AL.
See, the AL was so tough for me to decide.
Yeah, I mean, the AL, you got a lot of great guys. You got David Price, Justin Verlander, Felix Hernandez. I'm going to go with my man Ubaldo Jimenez. I think, like I said, I think he's a 20-win guy this year.
I thought my prediction was bold.
I think the Baltimore Orioles and the lineup behind him really leads him to a couple wins down the stretch there. He's going to win 20 games. That's the bold prediction of the year. Ubaldo Jimenez for Cy Young.
All right, I like it. How about you, Evan?
I'm going to go with a guy that's going to have a win-loss record, kind of like Felix Hernandez when he won Cy Young. I'm going to go Chris Sale. I'm going to go Chris Sale.
All right.
I like it. I like his stuff this year. I think he's going to win it.
See, I have Chris Sale as an honorable mention.
Okay.
Because I figured he would win it like Felix as well. Felix had a 2.77 ERA, I think, and he was only 13-12. But I went with Clay Buchholz, the starter for the Red Sox. I mean, and listen to this. If he stays healthy, he could be one of the most dominant pitchers in the game. Last year, he figured it out. He was 9-0 with a 1.7 ERA until June, and then he had a shoulder problem. Then he came back. He finished the year 12-1 after coming back in September. 1.74 ERA. I say he's getting over 18 wins. I'd go 20 wins for him. He's in he's got a great team behind him. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go Clay Buchholz, but an honorable mention to your boy Chris Sale. I like that. All right, let's go to the NL. Cy Young. Who do you think, Troy?
Everyone's picking Kershaw, I feel like, for this. And
I thought so too.
Reason, yeah. I'll go a little bold. I'll say Strasburg has a bounce-back season.
Okay.
I'll take him.
All right.
Well, I'm going to go Kershaw.
Okay.
I think that's the best team in the NL, and I think he proves that this year.
Evan?
Come back to me. I gotta
Okay.
think about this.
Now, I don't know what you're doing, Troy, but I like it, especially with this NL, because I have Strasburg winning it as well. But I also have Jose Fernandez
Oh, yeah.
winning it Felix Hernandez style. I like his chances better than Chris Sale's, to be honest with you. But I think it's going to be head-to-head with Steven Strasburg. It's going to come out of the NL East, I think. The thing is, with Strasburg, he just added a slider to his repertoire, and it's 88 miles an hour. He'll probably increase his win total. He was 8-9 last year. He had a 3 ERA, 3 flat. I think he goes under that, maybe like a 2.8 maybe. But with that slider, I think that's what does it for him, and he's going to win the Cy Young. Evan, your turn.
I'm going to go Wainwright.
Okay, I like that.
I think the Cardinals will be the best team in the NL, and Wainwright's going to lead that staff. I think he'll be a 20-win pitcher, and I think he's just going to be too dominant for people.
He was right there with him last year, too.
And I think Kershaw's going to have not the same season that he had last year.
I mean, I'll take half of what he did.
Yes, exactly. Certainly, he's going to be dominant. He's going to throw it he's going to dominate the league. But I think Wainwright's going to be the more important pitcher.
All right. So we have our both MVPs and both of our Cy Young Award winners. Now we have the Rookie of the Years, which is pretty tricky, especially in the NL.
Especially just in general.
Especially in general, because with rookies, you never know. You never know how it's going to go. So without further ado, we're going to go with our AL Rookie of the Year right now. So Troy, what do you think?
Well, like I said before, Xander Bogaerts is not my MVP. He's my AL Rookie of the Year. I think he's going to easily win it because, he's opening day starter for them. I also although I think he's going to start off in the minors, I like George Springer.
I do too,
Houston.
on the Astros.
I like him. And then I had one other guy. I can't remember his name now. But yeah, I like Xander Bogaerts.
All right.
I got Bogaerts as well. He has the opportunity right in front of him. He's already on the opening day lineup. He has a great team around him. I think that's going to help him out a lot. There's going to be a lot of veterans helping out the rookie there. So I think I don't think there's much competition for Rookie of the Year in the AL. Maybe Tanaka, but I just don't think he's gonna come out like everybody think he is. So I'm gonna go with Bogaerts.
All right, Evan.
Byron Buxton.
See, he might not.
Byron Buxton.
He might not even come in the. He might not even play. I read last night in the majors this year.
I think. Why keep him down though? I mean, you're already out of it right now.
I know, but still,
I'm marking him out of it. I get him experience, in my opinion, and I think he's going to tear up the league.
All right.
No one knows about him. No one knows how to pitch to him technically.
It's true.
So I think I think it's going to be like a Yasiel Puig situation where he's going to start out on fire and slowly come back down to earth. But I think he's going to. I think he won Rookie of the Year for it.
Who won Rookie of the Year last year for the NL? It wasn't Puig. It was Fernandez. Yeah. See, I'm going to go a pitcher. I'm going to go Yordano Ventura. Who, you ask? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. He's on the Royals. As you can see, I'm pretty high on the Royals right now. He's a very small guy, but he's got a huge arm. He can throw over 100 miles an hour with this fastball. Actually, last year in September, he was clocked at 102.8 miles per hour, which was the fastest recorded. Yeah, which was the fastest recorded by a starter last year. And he's got a nasty curveball. If you look him up, he's got a nasty curveball. That's his out pitch. I mean, he's got some things to develop, but he's gonna be the number 3 starter on the Royals. And they're saying his limit is like 180 plus. So he's not gonna be like limited to like 150 or anything like that. He's gonna go to 180 at least. And so I think he's got potential. He's got a pretty good team behind him. Last year in the minors, he pitched 130 innings. He had 155 strikeouts. So he's got lights out stuff. So I'm going to go with him. As you can tell, I'm pretty high on the Royals this year. All right, now we have the NL Rookie of the Year. Now, it seems like there's nobody up right now in the big leagues as the NL Rookie of the Year. But we'll have fun with it. What do you guys think?
Who's the guy on the Cubs?
Which one?
Baez?
Yeah, Baez. I'll go with him.
All right.
I don't know. This
He's a shortstop, second base, third base, kind of wherever they're going to plug him into because they have Castro at short.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll go with him.
He's got a nice bat.
Yeah.
I'll go Oscar Tavares just because I don't know any other NL rookies.
Of course, he's the center fielder, 5-tool player for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's coming off injury, but he's pretty ready to go.
I mean, we'll discuss after you guys give your picks, but does the NL really have much rookie competition? Is anybody really proving themselves?
I got 2 people. I got 2 people that will be, I think, 1 and 2.
Okay. Who's 1?
I don't.
Okay, I won't put that much pressure on you.
There's a lot of pressure there.
Okay, who you got?
The 2 guys. Billy Hamilton.
All right,
Billy
the speedster for the Reds.
He'll steal 100 bases. Maybe not this year, but soon.
Yeah.
But he'll steal a lot of bases this year. And then I like Archie Bradley, the pitcher from the Diamondbacks.
With Corbin going down, he's gonna get in there.
Yeah. So I think I'm leaning towards Archie Bradley as the Rookie of the Year there, with Hamilton finishing second.
All right. Now I have another Cub. Once you said Cubs, I was getting real nervous, Troy, because we have the same thing for every NL thing. Mm-hmm. But I have Mike Olt, the third base prospect that they got from Texas Rangers in the Matt Garza deal. He's really opened some eyes in camp this year. He could make the opening day roster. He could even be the opening day third baseman. They have Luis Valbuena starting at third right now, who had a monster spring as well. Olt's spring numbers was 289 with 5 home runs. Valbuena's was like 294 with 6 home runs. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see there. But I have Mike Olt. He had a pretty bad year last season, but that was because of vision problems.
That's kind of important to have.
Yeah, but now like he's got a new prescription, new eye drops, things like that.
I experienced that in my little league career.
Yeah, so there you go. See, I had those sports goggles that Jason Phillips had from the Mets.
I refuse.
I was looking super cool. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, I've got Mike Olt as my Rookie of the Year. So all right. So Troy, you had in the AL MVP. Go through your list again.
Okay. AL MVP. I don't even remember who I picked.
Yes.
Trout.
Not
Oh, I
Yeah,
did-
yeah, you
no, I
picked Trout. Yeah.
I picked Trout for AL. I picked Hanley.
As you can tell, we do not rehearse.
I picked Trout for the AL. I picked Hanley for the NL. My NL Cy Young was Steven Strasburg. My AL Cy Young was Felix Hernandez. My AL Rookie of the Year was Xander Bogaerts, and my NL Rookie of the Year was the guy Baez on the Cubs.
All right. My AL MVP was Mike Trout. NL MVP was Andrew McCutchen. AL Cy Young, and the bold prediction of the year was Ubaldo Jimenez. NL Cy Young, Crenshaw. AL Rookie of the Year, Xander Bogaerts. NL Rookie of the Year, Tavares. And, yeah, that's it.
I had AL MVP as Miggy. NL, I went with Joey Votto. Cy Young for the AL, I went Chris Sale. NL Cy Young, who did I go with?
You went with
Wainwright.
Wainwright,
yep.
Yeah. And then Rookie of the Year for the AL, Byron Buxton. NL Rookie of the Year, Archie Bradley.
Okay, and my MVPs are Eric Hosmer of the Royals, Hanley Ramirez of the Dodgers. Cy Youngs are Clay Buchholz of the Red Sox, eking out over Chris Sale, and Strasburg of the Nationals, just beating Jose Fernandez. Rookie of the Years, I have Yordano Ventura of the Royals, and Mike Olt of the Cubbies. All right, guys, World Series predictions. We went through all the divisions these past few weeks. Now it's the big show. Now it's the world stage. Troy, who you got in your World Series? And winning.
Last year I picked Nationals-Tigers. Nationals didn't do so well. Tigers almost got there. I'm going to pick the Tigers again. And in the NL, I'll take the Dodgers because they're the best team in the NL right now, in my opinion, on
All right.
paper. And I'll go with the Dodgers winning it all because the Tigers don't win World Series. Get there, but they don't win them.
All right.
All right. Out of the NL, I'm going to take the Dodgers. I think they're the strongest team in the NL. I don't really see them losing anybody. In the AL, I got the Baltimore Orioles, and I got the Dodgers beating the Orioles in the World Series.
You're really high on this Orioles team.
I really like the Orioles.
All right. Led by Ubaldo Jimenez.
Oh, that's what it is.
All right, now Evan, who you got?
All right, I'm going to go with the Astros versus the Phillies.
I like it. I would have went Cubs, but it's okay.
I think the Phillies are going to be horrible, but okay. For the NL, I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Again.
Yeah, and I'm going. The AL's tough. I mean,
Throw a wild card in there. Go Baltimore.
for you, this will be a wild card. The Yankees. I'll go Yankees.
Nah.
Inspiration from Jeter.
Yankees and Cardinals?
Yeah, I'm going to go inspiration from Jeter.
I wouldn't be mad to see Jeter get one more ring.
Yeah.
neither
I mean, I'm
Alright,
going to go. I'm going to go with the Yankees. Just I want to see Jeter get that last ring.
I don't.
How can you not?
I like Jeter.
Face
I
of
mean,
MLB.
he is the face. Actually, no, David Wright is. That
No.
was voted. That was voted. That was
was-
voted
it
on
was
by
voted.
the fans.
So
He was
Jeter-
voted the
doesn't
face of
have
the
a Twitter,
MLB.
so he doesn't campaign it.
Neither does David Wright.
David Wright has everyone campaign it for him.
That's right.
Who came in second in that, too?
Eric Sogard. That's why it's going to be the Mets and the A's.
Wow.
I'm only
But
kidding.
that's why Jeter lost it in the end because Jose Bautista
Yeah, Jose Bautista would.
went crazy with
Yeah,
it.
he
with
did.
it.
I'll follow you if you vote
Yeah.
Bautista, things like that. All right, my World Series is going to be the Texas Rangers. It's amazing what
I think it's going to be Yankees Rangers.
injuries can do for you because I had the Athletics winning the division and then Jared Parker went down. So I don't know if I have. I think I won't go back. But I had the Rangers going into the wild card. I think this is going to be finally the year that they actually go into the postseason hot, as opposed to just going downhill like they've been doing the past few years. And I have the Dodgers coming out from the NL, and I have the Dodgers coming out from the NL because I think they are the best team in the league. And by saying that, I have them beating the Rangers in the playoffs and the World Series because, the Rangers have a great lineup. They're pitching suspect. That's what's going to be the difference, because the Dodgers have great pitching and a great lineup. They're just more balanced. So, and I do love Prince Fielder and Adrian Beltre, but I got to go with the Dodgers. That's the strength of the NL. And plus, Rangers don't win World Series.
Can't happen.
No, it can't happen. Poor guys. All right, it's 12:58. We got 2 minutes left to spend.
I'm getting emails about
You're,
working.
you're looking at emails about working?
Yeah.
That is not SportsStop time.
Technically, it's sports work.
Doesn't matter. All right, guys. Upcoming weekend. Last weekend in March. Hopefully it gets a little bit warmer.
It's crazy. It's already the last weekend in March.
I know.
Wow.
I hate March.
I mean,
March is the
love
worst
March.
month.
March is the best.
Nah, March
Just
is the
because your
worst.
birthday's in March doesn't mean it's the best month.
And St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, okay, that's probably one of the best days of the year, but not doesn't make it the best.
One day
month.
can't make a month.
Exactly.
But it's my birthday.
It's my birthday. But yeah, April's coming. Hopefully it gets warmer. It's supposed to be like in the 50s now. Hopefully it stays that way. Maybe even pushing into the 60s next week. I saw.
I'll take that anything.
Me too. I'm looking forward to that. But it's just too cold right now. I'm sick of it. All right, I think we're done. We're done.
I think that wraps it up.
I think people stop tuning in right now. we're just starting talking about the weather.
Yeah.
It's like we're just like the local
We
mailmen.
always have a weather segment.
Because it's very important.
We have a little segment about the weather.
Right. For Troy, Andrew, and Evan, sorry, Atticus, you couldn't be here. We missed you. But I'm James Mitchell, saying life is good today. Let's keep it that way. Have a terrific Wednesday, and stay warm. That's it for the Sports Stop here on WSJU, the voice of St. John's University.